King Edward's VI College, Centre number 20570, Theatre Studies Unit 2, performance of Fear and Misery of the Third Reich. My name is Franklin Hillman, my candidate number is 3373, and I play the man, the husband, the essay man, the young fellow and the younger worker, as well as ensemble.
My name is Madeline Haggerty, my candidate number is 3328, and I play physicist Y, a Jewish wife, the mother, Mr. Man, and ensemble.
My name is Maria Angela Sarah Wells. My candidate number is 3841, and I play a Jewish wife, the woman, the second woman, and I am a member of the ensemble.
My name is Victoria Brown. My candidate number is 3107, and I play a Jewish wife, the petty bourgeois, and the woman worker, and the ensemble.
My name is Amy Jo Cooper, and my candidate number is 3955, and I play the daughter, the gentleman of the office, and the dairy woman, as well as ensemble.
My name is Samantha Ward. My candidate number is 3832, and I play the first soldier, physicist X, the working woman, and the woman and ensemble.
My name is Thomas King. My candidate number is 3473, and I play the worker, the older worker, the second officer, and in the ensemble.
My name is Megan Berder. My candidate number is 3115, and I play a Jewish wife, the announcer, the butcher's wife, and ensemble.
would darken all the heavens, then we became determined to see what sort of nation, formed from what sort of people, in what condition, what sort of thoughts thinking, he would be calling to his colours. We staged and marched past.
See, now they come towards us, a motley sight rewards us, their banners go before. To show how straight their course is, they carry striking crosses, double-crossed
it will be a united nation. I'm expecting the German people to have an unprecedented moral revival.
Wait till we've coaxed the German men out from among all those filthy subhumans. Hey, what part of Berlin is this? What a flag showing?
We've come the wrong way.
An horrible sight.
Lots of crooks round here.
Think it could be dangerous.
Decent comrades don't live in such slums.
Not alive to be seen either.
Now we'll get home.
That one. Catch them coming along to watch the birth of the Third Reich. We best cover our rear. Isn't this the bit by the canal?
Don't ask me.
Over in the corner where we cleaned up a bunch of Marxists. Afterwards they said it was a Catholic youth club, pack of lies. Not one of them was wearing a collar.
Think he'll really make us a united nation?
They'll make anything.
What's that?
Emma, are you there?
That's them! The next to appear are the traitors, who've given away their names. They know the people know. If only the street would forget them, they would sleep if their conscience would let them. But there's so far still to go.
They've got to the ground floor.
Not quite.
They've smashed the banisters. You'd already passed out when they dragged him out the flats.
I simply said the sound of foreign broadcast didn't come from here.
That wasn't all you said.
I said nothing more than that.
Don't look at me that way. You said nothing more. You said nothing more.
That's the point.
Why not go round to the police? Make a statement, say nobody called there on Saturday.
Catch me going to police. It were inhuman the way they were treating you.
He asked for it. What's he want to meddle in politics for?
They didn't have to rip his jacket, though. I was sorting well up for clothes.
What's a jacket, more or less?
They didn't have to rip it.
Here come the local mutants, dressed up like cleaning tutors. Not one of them but knows. Their science will end at barbarian, full of ethnic chemically area. State certified physics in homes.
I got it! What? The answer to what we asked Montosky in Paris?
About graduation? What about it?
Guess who's written giving just what we wanted?
Go on.
Montosky passed no question on to him. This is his answer.
Give me. Just suppose we were caught corresponding with him like this.
We absolutely mustn't be.
But without it, we're stuck. Come on, give me.
You won't be able to read it. I use my own shorthand. It's safer. I shall read it out to you.
For God's sake, be careful.
It's rolled up in the lab today.
The train tart is...
The problem concerns two arbitrary countervariant vectors, PS and mu, and countervariant vector T. This is used to form the elements of the mixed tensor, whose structure can be expressed by the sum of C to the power of minus I of R. Where matter is passive and incoherent, and not acting on itself by means of tension, T equals U. Will be the only component the tension or any T depth give us from home. Hence the static gravitational field, whose structure can be expressed, taking into account the constant proportionality factor, 8 pi x, will be the Jacob formation
hero, where the world now remains fixed. But what's Einstein got to say about this? What a typical piece of misplaced Jewish ingenuity and nothing to do with physics.
Over there we can see men coming, who are forced to relinquish their women and call them with blocks in their place. It's no good with their cursing or praying. Once he catches the vaguely straying, he'll whip them back into place.
This is Judith Keith. Anna, it's Judith. That's Gertrude. It's Judith. This is Judith Keith. Can I speak to Frau Schott, please? I'm stop. Not here. Yeah. I just meant to say why. I'm going away for a bit.
No, it's all gotten too difficult. Too difficult. Well, no, I don't think he'll say all that much. Fritz doesn't know yet. I simply packed my things. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he'll say all that much.
I want to go to Amsterdam. Yes, it seems to be lovely there in spring. I've got friends there. No, Laura will believe it or not.
And then say that this is the best company in Tuesday, and I wondered if you could both come too. I'm off tonight, as they say. No. Tuesday, that's it. No, there's no connection. I just thought you might be able to come there. Well, let's even though I shan't be there, right? Yes, I know you're not that sort, but what about it? These were several times, and everyone's been so careful. So you'll come?
It's very strange. What's that? To start. And there's another thing. I hope you don't mind my saying so, but, well, Fritz doesn't like eating before meals, and I always used to watch myself. I don't want to argue about this just now. Not once my friend knows and I have finished packing the
Keep it as it depends on that. Well, he'll manage it, tell him the professor will be here. I must ring off now.
Au revoir. Yes, of course I will. I'm very grateful to you, Gertrude, and we'll write to each other, won't we? So goodbye.
I'll write. Goodbye then.
Bye. Goodbye. That's a promise. Well, Fritz, I'm off. I suppose I won't be too long. I'm awfully sorry. Fritz, you can't keep helping your downfall. It's quite clear. I know you aren't a coward. You aren't afraid of the police. But there are worse things. They won't put you in a cab, but they'll ban you from the clinic any day now. You won't say anything at the time, but it will make you ill. I'm not going to sit around the flat pretending to watch you. Read those magazines. It's pure selfishness on my part. My leaving, that's all. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me you haven't changed. You have. Only last week you established quite objectively that the proportion of Jewish scientists isn't all that high. Objectivity is always the start of it. And why do you keep telling me I've never been such a Jewish chauvinist as now? Of course I won. Chauvinism is catching. Oh, Fritz. What's happened to us?
I never told you I wanted to go away. But I have done for a long time, because I can't talk when I look at you, Fritz. Then it seems there's no point in talking. Everything's been settled already. What's got into them, do you think? What do they want? What am I doing to them? I never got involved with politics. Did I vote communist? No, but I'm just one of those bourgeois housewives with servants and so on. And all of a sudden only blondes can do that. I've often thought lately about something you told me years back. About how some people are more important than others. And we're not given the eating when they got diabetes and others what. I understood this at the time, idiot that I was. Well, now it seems they've drawn a new distinction of the same sort, and I'm one of the less valuable ones. Serves me wrong.
Yes, I'm packing. Don't pretend that you haven't noticed anything these last few days. Nothing really matters, Fritz. Apart from just one thing. If we spend our last hour together without looking into each other's eyes, that's a triumph they can't be allowed. The liars who force everyone else to lie. 10 years ago, when someone said, no one would think I was Jewish, you instantly said yes they would, and that was fine, that was straightforward. But why go about things in a roundabout way now? I'm packing so they shan't take away your job as senior physician, and because they've stopped saying good morning to you in the clinic, and because you're not sleeping nowadays. I don't want you to tell me that I mustn't go, and I'm hurrying because I don't want to hear you telling me I must. It's a matter of time. Principles are a matter of time. They don't last forever any more than a glove does. There are good ones that last a long while, but even they only have a certain life. Don't get the idea that I'm angry. Well, yes, I am. Why should I always be understanding? What's wrong with the shape of my nose or the colour of my hair? And to leave the town where I was born just so they shan't go short of butter? What sort of people are you, yourself included? You developed quantum theory and the Trendelenburg test, and then allowed a lot of semi-barbarians to tell you that you're to conquer the world, but you can't have the woman you want. The artificial lung and the dive bomber. You are monsters. You pander to monsters. Yes, I know I'm being unreasonable, but what good is reason in a world like this? There you sit, watching your wife pack and say nothing. The walls have ears, is that it? But you people say nothing. One lot listens and the other keeps silent. To hell with that! I'm supposed to keep silent too. If I loved you, I'd keep silent. I truly do love you. Passing those underclothes, they're suggestive on either. I'm 36. That's not too old, but I can't be doing that much more experimenting. The next time I settle in a country, things can't be like this. The next man I get must be allowed to keep me. And don't tell me that you'll send me money, because we both know that you shan't be allowed. And you're not to pretend that it's just a matter of 4 weeks either, because we both know that this business is going to last rather longer than that. So don't go telling me that after all it's only 2 or 3 weeks as you hand me the fur coat I shan't need until next winter. Let's not speak about disaster, let's speak about disgrace. Oh, Fritz.
What are you doing? Tidying up?
No.
Why are you packing?
I wanted to get away.
What are you talking about?
We did mention my leaving. It's no longer very pleasant here.
That's a lot of nonsense.
Do you wish me to stay?
Where do you think you're going?
Amsterdam, just away.
But you've nobody there. Why don't you wish to stay here with me? There's absolutely no reason for you to go as far as I'm concerned.
No.
You do know I haven't changed. You do, don't you, Judith?
Yes.
And there's nothing else that makes you wish to go.
You know that.
It might not be such a bad idea, I suppose. You need a breather. It's stifling in this place. I'll come collect you as soon as I can get across the frontier, even if it's just for 2 or 3 days. I'll start feeling better.
Yes, you do that.
It can't go on all that much longer. This whole business will die down like inflammation. It's a disaster, it really is.
Definitely. Did you run into shock?
Yes, just on the stairs seemed to be quite sorry about the way they dropped us. He was rather embarrassed. After all, they can't sit on filthy intellectuals like us forever, and they can't run a war with a bunch of spineless wrecks. People aren't all that standoffish if you face up to them squarely. What time are you leaving?
1:15.
And where am I to send money to?
Say, post stand, Amsterdam main post office.
I'll see they give me a special permit. Can't send my wife off on 10 marks a month. It's a lousy business, it really is.
You can come and collect me to do your bit of good.
Yes. To read a newspaper with something in it for once.
I rang Gertrude. She'll see you're all right.
Quite unnecessary for 2 or 3 weeks.
Do you mind passing me my coat?
After all, it's only for 2 or 3 weeks.
Mum? Am I going to get my 2 pennies?
For the Italy?
Yeah.
I haven't any money left.
But if I don't bring my 2 pennies a week, I won't be able to go to the country this summer. And our teacher said Hitler wants town and country to get to know each other. Town people are supposed to get close to the farmers. But I'll have to bring my 2 pennies.
I'll try and find a way of letting you have one.
Oh, lovely, Mum. I'll give you ham and potatoes. It's lovely in the country, isn't it? Proper meal there. Our gym teacher was saying I've got a potato belly.
You have nothing of the kind.
Not right now. Last year I had a bit.
I'll see if we can find us some offal.
I get my roll at school. That's more than you do. Bertha was saying when she went to the country, they had bread and goose dripping. Meat too sometimes. Lovely, isn't it?
Of course.
And all that fresh air.
But you did have to do some work too, though.
Of course, but lots to eat. Only the farmer was a nuisance, she said.
Oh, yeah? What did you do?
Oh, nothing, just kept pestering her. Bertha's bigger than me, though. A year older.
Get on with your own work.
I won't have to wear those old black shoes from welfare, will I?
You don't have to, you got your other pair.
It's just that those have got holes.
But it's so wet.
I'll put some paper in, I'll do it.
No, if they've gone, they'll have to be resold.
But that's so expensive.
What have you got against the welfare pair?
Can't stand them.
Is it because they look so clumsy?
So you think so too?
They are old.
I've got to wear them.
If you can't stand them, you needn't wear them.
I'm not being vain, am I?
No, it's growing up.
Then you can have my 2 pennies now. I just so want to go.
I haven't the money for that. Then the media, the travelling circus, come to interview the workers with microphone in hand. But the workers can't be trusted, so the interviews adjusted to fit what Goebbels has planned. Here we are.
that rotten old republic. No one had anything to smile about. What are we working for? They used to ask.
Oh, that's what some of them say.
I didn't quite get that. Oh, I see you're referring to the inevitable grouses, but they're dying out now. They see that everything's booming in the Third Reich now. There's a strong hand on the helm once again. That's what you feel too, isn't it, Miss Schmidt? Miss Schmidt? Tell me, Miss Schmidt, which of these still artists enjoys your services?
And then we also work for decorating our piece of work, which gives us great pleasure. Our portrait of the Führer was donated by voluntary contributions, and we are very proud of him. Also, the geraniums provide a magical touch in the greyness of our working environment, a suggestion of Mrs. Kins.
So you decorate your workplace with flowers, the sweet offspring of the field, and I imagine there have been a great few other changes in the workplace since Germany's destiny took its new turning.
Washrooms. Washrooms! The washrooms were a personal suggestion of Mr. Bushell, our managing director, who would like to give our heartfelt thanks. Anyone who wants to wash can do so in these fine washrooms, just so long as there isn't a fight over the basins.
Everybody wants to be first, what? So there's always a jolly throng.
Only 6 cats between 552 of us. You should see how some of them behave. It's disgraceful.
But everything is sorted out perfectly happily in the end. And now we're going to hear a few words from Mr. If you'd be so kind as to tell me your name.
Man.
Mr. Mann. Right. Mr. Mann, would you tell us what moral effect the great increase in the workforce has had here on your fellow workers?
How do you mean?
Well, are all of you happy to see wheels turning and plenty of work for everybody?
You bet.
And every man once again able to take home his wage package at the end of the week. That's not to be sneezed at either.
No.
Under the rotten old republic, many a comrade had to pull out his weary way down to the welfare and live on charity.
18 marks 50, no deductions.
A capital joke. Not much to deduct, was there?
No, now they just deduct more.
And there we have it. Every man once again has bread and work under National Socialism. You are absolutely right, Mr. Anyway, not a single wheel is idle and not a single shaft needs to rust up in Adolf Hitler's Germany. In joyful cooperation, the manual worker and the intellectual worker are tackling the reconstruction of our beloved German fatherland. Heil Hitler!
Behold several million electors, 100% of your members, have asked to be led by the members. They did not get fresh bread and butter. They did not get watercoats and fodder. They did get the leader they chose.
Good boss,
It'll be all I can afford on the old man's pay anyway.
Stop grumbling, will you? Germany needs guns, not butter. He spelled it out for us.
Quite right, too.
Do you think we could have reoccupied the Rhineland with butter? Everyone was for doing it the way we did, but catch them making any sacrifices.
Keep your hair on. All of us are making some.
How do you mean?
Do you give when they come round collecting? There you go. She's giving, so we won't you like?
That's an old story. Not a penny to spare when the Fuhrer needs backing for one of his mighty tasks, as it were. It's just rags they give the winter aid. They'd give them moths if they could get away with it. We know the kind we've got to deal with. That factory owner at number 22 gave us a worn-out pair of riding boots.
No foresight, that's the problem.
Won't be long now. Morning, Mrs. Hall. Did you hear they came for young Letton last night? What child? Why, his son. Well, he was in the SA. Used to be. He's been in the party since 1929. He was about a livestock sale yesterday because they'd taken him off too. What they're supposed to have done? Been overcharging the meat. He was getting nothing on his quota. And he had to turn the customers away. Then they say he started buying in the black market. From Jews even.
Bound to come for him, weren't they?
He used to be one of the keenest of the lot, he did. He shot Tom's eyes at number 17 for not taking the logical of action. An old militant, that's him.
He'll get a surprise when he comes back.
If he comes back.
No foresight, that's the problem.
Looks as if they won't open at all today.
Best thing they can do. Police don't have to take a look around the place like that. And they're bound to find something, aren't they? What the stocks are to get. We could ask from the cooperative. No worries so far. There'll be no cream today. They say, let us raise the mortgage on the house. They can't let it being cancelled or something.
But they can't go doing that. There'll be no good for compliment.
Young Letner was quite a nice fellow. Old Letner was always the crazy one. When he shot the boy in the essay, just like that. When he'd sooner have been chasing a girl at last name.
How do you mean crazy?
Crazy, did I say? Oh, he always went crazy if anyone said anything against the idea. He was always talking about the idea, back in the old days. Yeah.
It's like they're opening up awful.
Well, it is, haven't they? Morning, Mrs. Schlichter. Listen now, Richard, he was supposed to come by ages ago with me. Actually, so nothing's happened. He ordered up the day before yesterday, when the old man made such a stink, you could hear him right across the square. They counted that against him.
I never heard nothing about that, Miss Schlichter.
Really? Didn't you know I refused to hang that plaster ham in his window? He'd gone and ordered it, what with them insisting, because he was hanging nothing in the window but the snake of the prices. He said, I've got nothing from my window. And when they brought that dummy ham round with a side of veal, what's more, so natural, you'd think it was real. He said, I'm not hanging any make-believe stuff from my window, and a lot more I wouldn't care to repeat. Against the government, all of it, and then he threw the stuff in the road. They had to pick it up out of the dirt.
No foresight, that's the trouble. How can people lose control like that?
Particularly such a smooth operator. Look at that!
There's something in the window.
It's old Letner. In his coat. But what's he standing on? Mrs. Letner! Mrs. Letner! What is it? Ah!
He's all himself in his shop window. There's something around his neck. It's the slate. There's something written on it. Oh, it says, I'll go to forget well.
As the current passes, they call with urgent voices, but none of you say no. You've got to make them heed you. This war to which they lead you will soon be your death blow.
It's like the sea.
Aye, it's one thing you have to love for that fellow.
An us that gets defeated.
That's right.
Listen to them shouting. Like they're being given a present.
They are an invasion.
And that is what they call consulting the people. Ein Volk, ein Reich, ein Führer. A single people, a single leader, a single leader. Willst du das Deutsche? You're German, are you in favour? And then there's us, in our working class flat in Newcastle, unable to put out one referendum leaflet.
How do you mean not able?
It's too dangerous.
And they've caught Carl. How are we to get the addresses?
We need someone to do the writing too.
He has 100,000 men to launch his attack. All we need is one man. But if he's got what needed, then he's the one that's going to score the victory.
So we can do without Carl!
That's what you people think. That we may as well split up now.
Comrades, there's no use kidding ourselves. Producing a leaf is getting harder and harder. You've got to admit, anybody listening to that victory might think things are getting better. It really does sound like a single people.
It sounds like 20,000 drunks being stood for a year.
For all we know, we might be the only ones who think so.
Right. Us and others like us.
What have you got there?
It's a copy of a letter. Such a din I might be able to read it. Dear son, tomorrow I will have ceased to be. Execution writing now to tell you that my opinions have not changed, nor have I applied for a pardon because I did not commit any crime. I merely served my purpose. Our task is difficult, but it's the finest one there is, to free the human race of its oppressors. Stay home. Look after your mother and your sisters, and the oldest. Your loving father.
They really are that few of us after all.
So, what's to go in the referendum leaflet then?
Best thing would be just one word. No.